Yes, you guys, welcome back to the player ratings video after our massive 2-0 win against FC Porto in the first leg of this year's UCL. The boys dug in deep. This was a hard-fought performance against a very difficult team. And of course, naturally, I had to bring back the player ratings video. So I hope you guys do enjoy. If you're still feeling pumped, excited, and confident that we can progress into the semi-finals, then make sure to smash that like button. I want to get over 2,000 likes for today's video. And without wasting any more time, we kick things off by giving a score to Thomas Tuchel. Now, of course, when it comes to lineups, we all know that we are exclusively now a back three system. With the team today, I was okay with the lineup. Of course, I was thinking maybe Tammy would have been more effective in the game today. I'm still curious as to why Tuchel isn't giving him too many chances, considering that, we could have really alleviated a lot of pressure by having someone like Tammy making runs behind, stretching FC Porto, trying to force their backline back a bit, and of course, adding more intensity in the first phase of the press too. That's only my personal opinion, and I feel like I have to comment on this because, tonight Kai was very ineffective and just didn't provide that outlet for the team that he needed to do today, you guys. Regardless of that though, the pros are that Tuchel, his game management was on show today. Made the right subs at the right time. I think, of course, having the luxury of having more additional subs in the UCL is played such a big difference. Tuchel maintained the intensity of the team throughout, bringing on the subs at the right time, and this was great management by Thomas Tuchel, and for that reason, I'm going to give him a score of 8 out of 10. We now move on to Edouard Mendy, the best goalkeeper in the Premier League for me this season. This guy is the real deal, and tonight he proved it, you guys. Games like this, you need to stand up, you need to show up. And Mendy most definitely did that. Porto really tested us from set pieces non-stop. I was getting flashbacks to last season. I know maybe it's just a fair comparison to make, but I can't help it, you guys. I invested a lot of time last season. I saw the mistakes and the weaknesses in the team, and it's crazy how all those weaknesses have just disappeared ever since we signed Edouard Mendy. Collected every ball in his books, was physical, was strong, made himself big in 1v1s, dove in the right areas to stop the shots going in. This guy's a real deal. He stepped up again tonight, and for that reason, I'm going to score him an 8 out of 10. We now move on to Azpilicueta, and today this was the type of game in which you want to see Azpi playing. You need guys that have the character to stand up, that can make those decisive blocks and tackles at the right time. I think this is why this is how he's basically made his name. There was one tackle in the second half in particular. Porto were trying to claim for a penalty. Of course, they would in a game like this, but Azpilicueta, he read the danger, made an inch-perfect tackle. Of course, nullified that attack, and that really summed up his game today. I thought his passing out from the back was quite crisp. I thought that, defensively, very aware, very on show, and for that reason, I'm going to be scoring him a 7 out of 10. We now move on to Andreas Christensen, and, this guy is stupidly composed. I feel like we have to give him more credit now for how he actually plays the game. How many times does Christensen collect these drop balls? Just control it perfectly. Keep possession of the ball, and of course allowing us to have another phase of kick-starting attacks again. I think his composure is out of this world. He's constantly, he never just clears the ball out of danger. He doesn't panic. He's reading the game. His reading of the game is absolutely stunning, and he's really showed up and stood out even more under Thomas Tuchel, and we're really seeing a top quality defender right now, you guys. Another great performance again for me, and for that reason, I'm going to be scoring him a 7.5 out of 10. We now move on to Antonio Rudiger, and other than one moment in the second half against Moraga where he kind of mistimed the running behind the trajectory where the ball was going, Rudiger really put his body on the line. He was really physical today. There was testament, him right at the end where he was clearly holding his legs. He was tired. He really put in a shift for the team today, and that effort was reflected in a very good defensive performance. I really do feel like he is better suited to a back three because I feel like when you reduce the space for him, he's able to command his areas and keep his positioning strong to a much better degree, you guys. But today, I thought Rudiger was very good, and for that reason, I'm going to score him a 7 out of 10. We now move on to the wing backs, and today, Our wing backs were absolutely exceptional. I'm going to start with Reece James and the way he absolutely bullied and dominated Salisu. Salisu had no joy against him. Reece James, he's too powerful, he's too strong. Constantly had the one up over him. It's not the first time that we've seen him dominate his opponent down that flank, you guys, and it's just the constant outlet he was providing for the team. Some very dangerous crosses inside the box, and you're just feeling if only we had more clinical players up front. Attacking these crosses better, reading these crosses a bit better. Reece gets denied assist after assist, but this is one of those big games today where, again, he constantly stands out. He constantly stands up for the team, and wow, what a player this guy is at 20 years old. It's so crazy to just comprehend that, you guys, but I think that's right, 2021. Who knows? He's still very young, and today he put in a big performance. I'm going to score him a 7.5 out of 10. We now move on to Benji Chilwell, and the goal he scored was testament to the, endeavour. I don't know, my voice went so high then, you guys, forgive me for that if it was too loud, but testament to the commitment that he showed tonight. He was getting battered and bruised quite a lot. He got some rough treatment today, but he still was there for the team. He was still fighting away. Yeah, a few times he was dishing out that dirty side too, which is something that you want to see in a very competitive game that was played very fairly, I have to say as well. But Ben today was involved throughout. I do think that in big games, I need to see this guy in the team. I think obviously that pace he has is a massive advantage over Alonso, and I think defensively too, he's a lot better. You can leave him 1v1. You can allow him to go up against his man, and it's like him and James had drakey opponents and players like your Diaz's. You had Moregas going down the flank sometimes, and guys like Corona who exceptionally skillful and very good at those 1v1 moments. But so for me, these guys are important today for the team. We needed them. And I'm going to score Ben an 8 out of 10. We now move on to the midfield, and I'm going to score both of our midfield players together. Of course, there were some pros and cons, some very understandable cons. And for me, I don't think the cons completely outweigh the performances, the very positive performances shown from both Kova and Jorginho today, because naturally, we know that they have limits. They are going to struggle against, stronger guys in midfield up against them. They're not the best in defensive 1v1 situations and even reading the danger as well, but they do provide more of a platform for the team in this current back three setup. No surprise that both these guys had key involvements in producing the goals for us, with Jorginho playing a great weighted pass on the ground to find Mason, who could beautifully just, I think that pass allowed Mason to receive on the half turn. That was just how well it was played. And of course with Kova as well, I feel like his influence grew a lot more in the second half, where there was more space to play, when Kova could obviously use his dribbling ability to break the lines, attack the spaces, and help us in the transition. So it was his pass, the over the top ball that was played towards Ben. Of course, fortunately found him, but he still played it right. And even though there were some mistakes, even though I still feel, as I constantly say, for a player of Kova's ability, I think the passing should be a lot better. I think he should really master that part of his game, because it could really elevate and separate him, to be honest. But today, these guys were still good for me, and for that reason, I'm going to score both a 7 out of 10. And now we move on to the attacking players, starting with the goal scorer of the best goal tonight, and that was Mason Mount. Now, again, the skill, we've seen Mount consistently display the skill of receiving on the half turn. I love how he thinks, love how he reads the game. I love how he's, constantly aware of where he has to be at the right time. Maybe no surprise to me if Frank's given him a few hints, about, looking up first before you receive the pass, knowing what you're going to do with the ball before you receive it. And I think that's why, for me, it feels like Mason plays the game at a faster tempo, because I think he just reads things on a faster level. But, this was a key goal to score at the time. Porto were putting on some pressure in that first half. Let's keep things real, you guys. But today the outlet, I think he played one key pass in the game today, a good early crossing the box to find I think Werner on the far left, and just that movement in behind, just his ability to maneuver in the half spaces, really just dragging those FC Porto midfield players around him. For me, the guy is destined to become a world-class player. For that reason, I'm going to score Mason Mount an 8 out of 10. Now, we start with Timo Werner, and yeah, he showed endeavour, he showed work rate. It was one of those games where the tactics clearly was to play balls quickly over the top to try and find him. The service isn't consistently perfect for him, because, with Werner, he needs space to play in. That's what he needs. He can't play in games where it's very congested and tight, and it's not his game. He can't utilize his pace. I think that's what makes him the player he is. And of course, naturally, we're going to be a team to try and create those moments for him to use his pace, basically. But it just wasn't one of those games. There was too much distance between our attack, and in a sense, it was kind of wasted for me. So for that reason, I'm going to score Timo Werner standards 6 out of 10. And to end things with Kai Havertz up front, and for me, this just was not the game for Kai. He had a great moment, which, to be fair, Pepe got on the end of that and blocks it. But again, you were hoping that it would have been better executed. You're hoping in that moment that he's gonna take advantage there and maybe do a bit better. But I just felt like he was very, I don't want to say passive, he just was not involved in the game. We couldn't unlock him. He wasn't able to influence things. He wasn't able to be that outlet to hold the ball up, which I think was a game where, Porto really pressed us high and put us under great pressure at times, and we needed an outlet which we could not get in Kai. So for that reason, I'm going to score Kai Havertz a 5 out of 10. Now, you guys, to end things with the subs, starting with Christian Pulisic, and no surprise if I feel deep down Tuchel prefers to use him as a sub, because when the game becomes open up, he is one of the most devastating players to go up against. Of course, naturally, he took some rough treatment. Teams will look to foul him and try and injure him because, of course, they think he's lightweight. And, Pulisic will grow more physically. But again, that explosive pace, I don't think he'll ever lose that. To be honest, you guys, he hit the top of the crossbar with a great shot. Very unlucky not to score from that, and his form has definitely been slowly creeping and getting back and growing. So let's hope that continues. I'm going to score him a 6.5 out of 10. Moving on to Olivia Giroux, and for me, I've just never really seen Giroux working in a Tuchel system. I just think that is too limited. Wasn't really involved again. Didn't actually provide the outlet that I hoped he was going to bring to the team. And games like this where you need a bit more pace, you need some legs and behinds, I feel like he can be a bit too limited and a bit too disconnected from the team. So I'm going to score him a 5 out of 10. And to end things with N'Golo Kante and Thiago Silva, I'm going to score them the standard 6 out of 10s. They came on to do a job. It was a combination of wasting time, of course, and of course providing more solidity at the back with Thiago Silva coming on, and of course Kante. Not on the ball as much, but they still, play their part for the team, and that's why they get a very standard score today, you guys. And on that note, that was it, the player ratings video. 2-0 win against FC Porto, and this is the perfect way to just forget about the terrible defeat against West Brom just a few days ago. But tonight, you guys, I think we proved that we are serious. We want to try and win this tournament, and we definitely have the ability, the heart, and the work rate to try and make this happen. So on that note, I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Peace.